Hello again, friends. Welcome to another edition of Beavertown Outdoors. I'm John. I'm out here at the beautiful Beavertown compound, and today we're going to do some cutting. Got a couple piles of logs I need to get through, and we're going to cut them up today. As normal behind me, I got the four-wheeler out here, and I got my saws, got all my stuff for cutting up wood today. So we're going to cut up some logs, and you're going to follow along. So, as you can see, this is what we're cutting up today. So, I got a bunch of that pine that I moved from out front, both a couple weeks ago, and in the last video you saw me using the new timber claw on the tractor. Got a bunch of it moved over here, and then behind it, you can see back here, we've got some of that poplar, and I think one of those is a cottonwood, maybe poplar. Anyway, so we got some of that. It's basically just going to be campfire wood where we're going to get it cut up, because what I want to do is I'm going to go back to one of the ways I used to do things. Since we moved the shelter logic over to the other side behind the barn, I'm going to set this up as my processing area again. I got a little pop-up shelter to use for spring, summer. That that works pretty good. Keep rain, keep snow, or not snow, well, hopefully not snow in the summer, but keep the rain off, keep the sun off. Us red-haired folks, sun and us are not friends. So we'll get that set up. But before I do that, I gotta get all this cut up, moved out of the way, processed, and get it gone. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so I already got the Stihl gassed up, oiled up, chains adjusted. I think we're good to go. We're still good and sharp. I think I used this once since I filed it, but we're cutting up softwood and just easy to cut stuff, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. One thing I did notice, it's been a little bit since I used this. My laser's out of charge. I thought I had it good and charged up, but apparently not. So we have to resort to the old methods. I already marked off 3 of the logs with some chalk, but I do have my magnetic stick. Once we get through those first few, then we'll switch, probably use that. So let's get this all warmed up. Warm up bit. James Kelsey, been running a while. For whatever reason, I end up using the Dolmar and the little Stihl more over the last couple months than I have this. So, but you'll adjust. That Magnum carburetor will adjust. Similar to the auto tune on the Husqvarna. So let it absorb the universe, as Billy Ray likes to say. And once it's ready to go, we'll start cutting. this doesn't seem to be as sharp as I had hoped. So I think we're gonna pause here. I'm gonna put a quick file on this. So sometimes it's important to know that you recognize when your saw ain't cutting the way it should. I thought that chain was good, but when I went to file it, it's been chewed up. So I must have, that 1 or 2 times I used it, one of those times, that last one, I must have hit something with it, because that's what it looked like. So that chain's got to be ground. I didn't want to sit here filing all day. So what I end up doing, just changing out to another chain. That's why I have spares. I try to keep just, sharpen them as I go, keep a file on them, and keep the edge that you got. But sometimes you find that just ain't gonna work, so it's always good to have a spare. That's what we got, so let's give her a shot, and hopefully this is gonna cut a little better. The log ox works great, excuse me, but they'll peel the bark right off this whole pine. That makes it a little harder. Well, at least the nice thing I'm seeing is even though that sat for couple of years, it's still clean wood for the most part. And these bigger pieces are kind of falling apart, but still wood. And the way the bark's falling off it, should be good and dry. Apart. So one of the disadvantages, so I can hear the world around me. So one of the disadvantages of using chalk is if you mark it on the bark, wasn't intending that to rhyme. If you mark it on the bark and the bark's dry and starts peeling off, now you lost your chalk mark. And I did that a couple. I think I ended up with one or two that are a little longer than I was after. That's kind of the advantage of using, if you don't have the laser, which I don't today, again because it isn't charged, well, the marking sticks is going to marking and putting a gouge in the log. When you do that, you cut through the bark and into the wood, so if the bark peels off, you still got your mark there. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to get the marking stick and put it on there and start marking up some more of these logs and get them cut. Okay. Give the log axle a workout. These are a handy tool. I'll get through it. I get a few more big ones out here. I don't know if we'll get to the poplar today or not. So one of the things I do that, I don't know if you heard me mention before, you know, I usually run my saws all the way till they're out of gas. I don't like them sitting with gas in them. Seems to lead to problems. So I run them all the way out of gas. Now, the reason I run multiple saws, I've got the Dolmar, the Stihl, the 2 Stihls, and another one coming too, is so that once you run them out of gas, you put a lot of heat, a lot of cutting on the saw, and it's a nice thing to do to let them sit and cool off. So even if I'm planning on cutting with this saw again today, which I'm not, you know, I would just let it cool down. But when you're done cutting and it's going to sit and cool off, like I said, we put a lot of heat, made this chain expand. I mean, people call it that the chain stretches. It doesn't really stretch. It just gets hot, and these links expand just that little bit. And I had to come back and actually tighten them up. But what you want to do is, as that cools, that's going to contract back down. And what that's going to do is, you know, your sprocket is attached right to your crankshaft on your engine. And what you're doing is you're going to pull tension, and this thing's going to sit with tension on it. And, you know, that I got to believe that lowers the life expectancy on it. So what I do every time when I'm going to park it is I'll take and loosen the chain back up. So we'll just take it loose just till it starts to hang like that, and then I'll just tighten it back up. Don't have to reef it down, you know, because you're just going to loosen it back up and readjust the chain before you cut again. But yeah, that way when this chain shrinks, it'll firm back up a little bit, and but it's not pulling tension on the saw. So just a good little tip to keep your saw going good. Give your engine a little more longevity. But so one thing I noticed, I don't know if it's the oil, because I'm kind of in between winter and summer oil, or it's just that pine tree is just that dirty, but it dulled this. This was sharp, and it already got pretty dull, you know, but definitely going to put a file on it before I use it again. Yeah, that's just, like I said, I think it's just a product of dirty old pine. You know, it's starting to, the space in between the bark and the wood is starting to rot off. That's why the bark's falling off and it turned into dirt. So, you know, you're basically cutting through dirt. The only way to avoid that is, you know, take the bark. You can avoid it by taking the bark all the way off before you cut it. That'll help, but you know, that takes time. So, and I got files. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna get the Dolmar set up so we can keep cutting. Well, guys, that's all I'm gonna have time for today. It is Easter today. You'll be watching this a couple weeks after Easter, but hope everyone had a great Easter. Got some family over, so gotta do the family thing. But we got a decent amount accomplished. Didn't get into the poplar today. You know, tomorrow's another day. But yeah, so we're doing pretty good. The Stihl, yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know what's up with that chain. Those chains is just not cutting the way I'd like. You know, the Makita Dolmar, that eats through the wood like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's just that chain or I mean, that was an Oregon chain, but it was sharp. But man, it went dull quick. Didn't hit the dirt. It might just be the dirt on the trees there. But anyway, we got through a bunch of it once we switched to the Dolmar. So kudos to that saw as usual. But like I said, that's going to do it for me today, guys. So if you like what you saw, please like, please share, please subscribe. Thank you to all my latest subscribers. Appreciate you, and hope you're enjoying my content, and look forward to bringing you more. So until then, from everyone here at the beautiful Beavertown compound, take care of each other, be good, stay safe, and I'm out.